am really, man, dude, I'm really like, yeah, like if we could just get into the ancient city with a dispenser, a pressure plate, or a tripwire or something, like the tripwire, and if we could just have and like maybe you fire the first bow shot to get him over there, and if he appears and then we fucking and then he runs through the tripwire, and the dispenser starts shooting him, he'll hear that, right? And he'll try to attack whatever's shooting him. And if he can't break the dispenser block, then he just gets shot multiple times. My only fear and my only wonder is will he go after different things regardless if something is hurting him? Which I don't know. I mean, it seems like he always gets so fixated on one thing. Like if he's running around chasing a bat, he may not care if he's being shot at if he's just focusing the bat. I don't know how aggro. I really don't know how aggro. I don't know how aggro sensitive he is. You know how when the
sorry, you finish.
Well, I mean, we could play. I'm trying to test his aggro sensitivity. So is he like a zombie when he gets shot by a skeleton? Does he just 180 and start attacking the skeleton, or like?
What do you? Doesn't even need to shoot him. To be fair, yeah. As long as he can hear it.
Well, no, I'm talking in relation. I was talking as an example.
Oh, sorry.
So like, you know how like when mobs shoot other mobs, they start attacking each other. So if something else hits the warden, could we like walk by? Could we take a fucking prom photo with the warden right next to him, and then it'd be like he won't attack us because even though we're next to him, he's attacking the thing that's hurting him.
I'm on the wiki reading about his spawning habits. And it's like wardens do not use standard mob spawning mechanics, blah blah blah. Instead, they are spawned when a player activates a naturally generated Skull Shrieker 4 times. If there isn't already another warden within 24 blocks of it, when a warden spawns, it emerges from the ground in the Shrieker that summoned it, taking about 6 seconds to do so and being completely invulnerable until fully emerged.
I knew the
count of Skull Shriekers is specific to each player rather than each Skull Shrieker. This means that a player can activate 4 different Shriekers in different locations, and a warden still emerges after the 4th activation.
I feel like we should be treating this like a ghost hunt in Phasmophobia. That
makes sense because he didn't spawn the first few times it went off, and then he spawned.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because by then, when you did it the 4th time, then all bets are off.
Yeah.
The fact I knew there was a cooldown for when he appeared because he's got the invincibility frame going. So if we treat this like a Phasmophobia hunt, then in those 4 to 5 seconds when we hear him emerge, we can get to higher ground and or just hide.
Oh wow, in Java Edition you can toggle it as a game rule to make it so he can't spawn, just in general.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, but you know what? Oh no, you know what that means though? So does it say? So after the warden disperses, does the shrieker cooldown reset, or is it now every activation afterwards? Because
I think it resets, but if he is within 24 blocks of it, another warden won't spawn. That's for any shrieker. As long as he is in 24 blocks range of it, another one can't spawn.
Okay.
Warden can fit inside an enemy space that is 1 block wide and 3 blocks tall, allowing it to chase players and mobs through small corridors. Wardens are immune from damage to fire or lava and do not take knockback. They can pathfind through blocks that usually avoid by other mobs, including rails, powdered snow, and magma blocks. Right, the warden with an angular knot gives 12 seconds of darkness to all players within a 20 block radius every 6 seconds. The souls in the chest make a low throbbing heartbeat that occurs as handed in the darkness effect. The heartbeat speeds up as the warden becomes increasingly agitated. The warden prefers to track down the most suspicious targets rather than the closest ones to it.
The most...
The warden listens to all vibration. Oh, that's cool.
So... Okay, so what I gathered from that is if there's multiple entities nearby, it's going to go after whatever the one he feels the most unsure about.
Yeah. The warden listens to all vibrations of a 16-block radius except those from other wardens, armor stands, dying mobs, and players in creative or spectator. Like with a skulk sensor, they cannot detect a sneaking player who's walking, falling, or shooting a projectile. The warden has a 2-second cooldown between detecting vibrations. The warden is aware of all targetable entities within a 429 times 51 times 49 box around itself. If the warden has a targetable entity, is not investigating any disturbances and otherwise idle, it will fast find towards the closest entity, prioritising players over mobs. Whilst pathfinding, the warden can begin a sniff behaviour and animation. This takes about 4.2 seconds and has a 5 to 10 second cooldown. Right, okay.
What's the range of the
So-
sniff?
I think it's just, I don't know, I'm just reading off the wiki. Anger, wardens keep track of how angry it is at each suspect as a number from 0 to 150. When the warden notices a vibration, it adds anger to the mob that caused the vibration. It adds 10 anger if the vibration was from a projectile, or 35 from other vibrations. However, if 2 projectiles are heard by the warden within 5 seconds, it instead adds the full 35 anger towards the player/mob. Wardens do not add anger towards the mob/player if the projectile is shot from more than 30 blocks away, or the projectile does count towards the counter of 2 projectiles. Anger decays at the rate of 1 per second and immediately clears if the target player switches to creative or spectator. Target or warden leaves the dimension, or if the target dies. Okay, so he has an anger level. That's fucking cool. They really made him cool.
I felt like there was a level to how like pissed off he could get. That's just something I always felt like was a thing, just based on like how he attacks and everything.
He adds 35 anger to any mob that directly touches it. This effect has a 1 second cooldown. If it finishes sniffing, the warden adds 35 anger to the nearest mob or player within 6 blocks horizontally and 20 blocks vertically. Once a warden reaches 80 anger with a target, it roars for 4.2 seconds, adds another 20 anger, and pursues the target. This angered state, the warden chases the target, normally despite being blind. The warden also enters its hostile state and adds 100 anger if directly attacked by a mob. If the attacking player or mob is within 5 blocks, it skips its roaring animation altogether and immediately chases it. The warden is biased towards player vibrations, attacks, and contact. Even if a warden is angry at another mob, it still attacks the player first as long as they have angered the warden as well. This is not true of any other mob. So if it was attacking, say, like a big slug, and then we attacked it, it'd have to fit at us first. After 60 seconds of being calm and not detecting any vibrations or sniffing, it burrows back into the ground and despawns. Unless the warden has been named, if the warden is floating or liquid, it instead immediately despawns without any burrowing animation. During its emerging/burrowing, if the warden can take damage from /kill, though can be pursued by entities, pistons, liquids, named wardens do not dig or despawn. Right, the wardens... I want to read about the sniffing. The warden's melee attack has a cooldown of 0.9 and disables shields for 5 seconds, dealing 16, that's 8 hearts, to 22 hearts HP depending on the difficulty. The warden cannot reach its target, it switches to ranged attack, sonic boom. It does so if the following statements happen. If it has been 10 seconds since the warden detected the target, if it's been 5 seconds since the warden last used the melee or ranged attack, the target is within 15 blocks horizontally and 20 blocks vertically of the warden. The sonic boom directly attacks the target, passing through blocks and other mobs without damaging them. The warden takes 1.7 seconds to charge up and unleashes the attack, which instantly hits the target as long as the target is in attack range. It cannot be dodged. The attack takes an additional 1.3 seconds to cool down before the warden can use it again. The sonic boom is visible via particle thingies. This attack bypasses shields, armour, enchantment blocks, and even the wither armour of the wither. Only the resistance effect can reduce the attack, so nothing can stop it, not even shields, which is what I was thinking of doing. I'm sorry if I'm boring you.
No, you're not. You're not. I'm just listening. I'm just listening.
Okay, so sounds. Oh, this is just the sounds you can make.
Okay, so So would the dispenser trick that I had work?
I don't know.
Because if he keeps tripping the pressure plate or the tripwire and keeps getting shot by the dispenser, it almost makes me wonder if, like, I mean, so as long as we don't, so if we run around him, I don't know if that would count as a suspicious noise if we're not hurting him. But if he's getting hurt by something else, he would be more pissed off at that, I feel like. I don't know. What I have gathered from all that is that no matter what, we're going to have to play real tiptoey if we want to go down into that city.
Yeah. Also, I found where the LA. I didn't find, but I read where the LA spawn. You know, the little blue things. From last night that I was talking about. They spawn in pillager towers in the prison cell things.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Ah, yes. Circle.
Yes.
Yes.
Wait, Lauren, look. Lauren, you come up here, right? And then it's like Minecraft. When you're playing Minecraft, everybody knows what this game is. What? A circle. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
So, okay, the warden is very...
He's a very... You can tell they spent a lot of time making this enemy with how detailed he is.
Apparently the warden can actually see when you spectate it. He can see, but it's just coded so he can't, like, see, if that makes sense.
You mean they've
Can
been
see,
acting so smart because they're so stupid?
It's like me. I'm definitely the smartest being on the planet.
Man, weren't you just criticizing yourself a half hour ago for how stupid your staircase was?
That was half an hour ago. My brain power was growing at such an alarming rate. No, I'm joking.
Really? Is that why it defaults every time you wake up?
Exactly. A balloon.
This kind of gives me ideas as to, like, what to do. Like, I'm just wondering, like, you know what I might have to do? I might have to make a world and just call it a test world, and I'm gonna test out my dispenser thing in creative, and spawn. There is a warden spawner, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's just an egg.
Yeah. Okay. So if I spawn the warden, I would have to keep a fucking sound sensor and a shrieker up top then. So if I spawn I'm thinking if I spawn the warden, and, like, have him tripwire the dispenser, and then put myself in, like, survival, I'll get the test and see if he attacks me or not, or if he tries to just attack whatever's shooting him. My only fear is that, you know how when you hit the pressure plate, like, once, it'll only fire once? He would have to continuously keep running over the pressure plate.
True. I wonder if tripwires are, like, semi-automatic if you, like, stay on them.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they are, because isn't that like how the jungle trap works? Like, every time you, like, walk over it, it just fires?
No, I mean, like, if you were to stay on it, like, would it stay?
I don't know, but I also don't know what the duration of frequency of arrow shot there is as far as time goes. If you stand on it, is it every second an arrow fires out, or is it like every 2-3 seconds? Because if the arrow thing works, then we're pretty much going to be battling the time versus arrow shot frequency versus his cooldown. Because if he gets shot and it takes 3 seconds, and in the second he loses interest and we make noise, and if he comes after us regardless of being shot again, then we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Unless if being shot by the arrow fucking pisses him off and he goes back to the dispenser.
Well, being shot by a projectile adds 10 anger, but if 2 are shot at him, it'll add 35.
Oh, okay. So maybe it'll be a race against what pisses him off the most. If we could just up his rage, his aggression and aggroness would become so focused on the dispenser that we absolutely probably just could waddle around him without too much of like fear.
True.
Or we could either do this the stealth way, which we could do. Oh wait, no, this is like a GTA mission. We could either do this the fucking stealth way, in which we just get a shit ton of wool and build wool all around the city, or oh no, the wool thing wouldn't even work.
Why?
It wouldn't even work, Lauren, because fucking just because we're on the wool doesn't mean other mobs can't spawn down there and trigger them.
Yeah, but we've seen that the other mobs don't trigger him. They don't trigger the thing to spawn, they just trigger him when he's up. It's like a grumpy old man.
No. Yesterday the slimes and the Enderman triggered him.
I don't know, I think that was me, to be fair.
No, we weren't down far enough. Every time it got tripped, that would mean that the closer you got to the ground, the sensor had already been triggered.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I feel like the slimes at least triggered him, or maybe the skeletons triggered him. The Enderman earlier, I don't know. Maybe maybe what it was? Maybe the Enderman didn't trip off the Shrieker enough. Maybe it only sent like 2 or 3 sensor signals.
But then, to be fair, thinking of it, it said that the Shriekers are player specific, so that means I did trigger it 4 times for it to spawn.